Hello students, this is lecture number 10 in morphology of flowering plants. So in the angiosperms, we saw about root, their modifications, stem and their modification. Even in the previous class, I was telling you about leaf and leaf modification also. Leaf can undergo several modification in addition to what is that photosynthesis. As far as leaf modification is concerned, you must remember about one more type of leaf also. I told you about leaf tendrils, leaf thorns we have seen, and then phyllodes we have seen. Phyllo-clad and cladode comes under stem modification, whereas phyllodes comes under leaf modification, remember. In addition to phyllodes, we have seen about insectivorous leaves also. Then there must be one more thing you have to remember. Scale leaves are also present in the angiosperms. Scale leaves. This type of scale leaves can be found in the case of onion, garlic, and we can come across this type of scale leaves. In onion, stem modification is found underground stem modification, which is called bulb we are telling. In an onion bulb, if you see, means the stem will be like this. It will become disc-shaped structure below the soil. From this disc-shaped structure, many scale leaves will arise like this, and they will group together. They will become the onion bulb actually. At the end of or at the base of this, we could come across roots also. So these are called scale leaves of the onion. What is the purpose of these scale leaves means? They store the food and minerals also in it. Storage of minerals is done in the case of onion. Even in garlic also, there will be scale leaves containing the pearls of the garlic like this. Pearl-like structures are present in the garlic here. They will also be having this type of condition. So, garlic and this one, scale leaves meant for storage. It can be taken as the sixth modification in the case of what is that leaf of angiosperm. Let me go to the next subheading. Another morphological feature we are going to see with this leaf modification is completed. Just to make note, we will continue. Okay, students, let us see about the next subheading related to angiosperm morphology. It is about inflorescence we have to see. Inflorescence. One important concept, idea we have to remember related to inflorescence. What is inflorescence? Already we know root, stem, leaf and all, but inflorescence may be a new word for you. This inflorescence refers to natural cluster of flowers we are telling. Natural cluster of flowers can be called as inflorescence, remember. Cluster refers to group. So natural grouping of flowers in a plant body will be called as what is that? Inflorescence. There are plants which will produce individual flower, single flower they may produce. In most of the angiosperms, flowers are produced as groups. That group of flowers which are formed naturally is known as inflorescence, remember. Artificially we make flowers into groups. That is for making garland. We are making, that hara, huvina hara, that is artificial cluster. But naturally produced cluster of flower, group of flower is called inflorescence, we can say. How this inflorescence is produced? Please listen. This inflorescence is produced in the form of a kind of that. This is the stem of the plant means. From the stem, there will be one axis arising for the sake of inflorescence. This axis of the inflorescence is known as peduncle, we are telling. Already we have seen about pedicel. Sorry, we have seen about petiole. Petiole refers to stalk of a flower. Stalk of a leaf. I am sorry. Petiole refers to stalk of a leaf. Peduncle refers to stalk of an inflorescence. This peduncle will bear many flowers arranged over it. So this group of flowers will be known as inflorescence actually. There are two major types of inflorescence we have to come across in the angiosperm. One type of inflorescence is called as racemose inflorescence, it can be called. First type of inflorescence is called as racemose inflorescence. Second type of inflorescence is known as cymose inflorescence, we can say. So there are two major types. One is racemose, another one is cymose. What is the difference between racemose and cymose means? In racemose inflorescence, peduncle will exhibit unlimited growth actually. Unlimited growth of the peduncle will be possible in the case of racemose inflorescence. Unlimited growth of peduncle. So, peduncle means what? Stalk of the inflorescence. This stalk of the inflorescence will be going on growing like this, and whenever they are growing, they will produce many flowers, group of flowers always. So there is unlimited growth of peduncle. Peduncle is nothing but a stalk of the inflorescence. Not only it has the unlimited growth of peduncle, first point. Second character of racemose inflorescence is, in this racemose inflorescence, flowers are arranged in acropetal succession, we are telling. Flowers are arranged in acropetal succession. So acropetal succession of flowers can be found in the case of racemose inflorescence. What is acropetal succession? In the case of acropetal succession, older flowers will be at the base, younger flowers will be at the tip, we can say. There are first formed flowers will become aged, old in the first primarily. So these are older flowers, these are young flowers. Older flowers are towards the base, young flowers are towards the tip. Such an arrangement is called acropetal succession. Now when the inflorescence is blossoming, when it is opening, when the flowers are opening, first old flowers will open. Then slowly the young flowers will open. And at the same time, the peduncle will be also capable of growing further and further. Because peduncle has got unlimited growth and acropetal succession. Okay, that is called racemose inflorescence. Second type is known as cymose inflorescence. Cymose inflorescence has got two characters. First one is known as, it has got limited growth of peduncle in it. Cymose inflorescence has got limited growth of peduncle. That means the stem will be like this and it will produce the peduncle, but the peduncle will not grow after certain limit, or it will not grow further and further. That means they will stop, their growth will be arrested at a particular point. So limited growth of peduncle is the characteristic feature of cymose flower or cymose inflorescence. Second point we have to remember here is, in the cymose inflorescence, there is no acropetal succession, but there will be basipetal succession, we can say. basipetal succession of flowers can be found in the case of that cymose inflorescence. What is meant by basipetal succession? The tip of the peduncle will end with a older flower. This will become the old flower, and it is the first formed flower in this inflorescence. Inflorescence means group of flowers. So this is the first formed flower, and it will blossom first. On the sides, we will get younger flowers like this. So these are the young flowers, and this one is the old flower. Old flowers are present at the tip, young flowers are towards the base of the peduncle, means it is called basipetal succession. Whereas old flowers are at the base, whereas young flowers are towards the tip, means that is acropetal succession, we can say. I hope you got this point. In acropetal succession, older flowers are towards the base, younger flowers are towards the tip. In basipetal succession, young flowers are towards the base, old flowers are to the tip. Exactly at the tip, old flower will be present, so that further growth of the peduncle is not possible. That is why it is called a limited growth, we are telling. Okay, where do we find the example for racemose and cymose inflorescence? Racemose inflorescence can be found in the plants or flowers like gulmohar, we are telling. You could have observed yellow colored flowers produced like this in a big trees and all. The tree will be having very good green leaves, but amidst them you will get yellow colored flowers like this, a group of flowers, bunch of flowers. So that is acropetal succession. Gulmohar is the best example for it. When we come to cymose inflorescence, where basipetal succession, flower is ending with a flower, means example for this is jasmine flower. You could remember, you could have observed jasmine flower. It will produce a peduncle with only three flowers. Only 3 flowers will be there. So old flower will be at the center. On the sides there will be young flowers. Such a condition is called cymose inflorescence. Do you get this point? Racemose, cymose. In addition to that, in some angiosperm there will be third type of inflorescence possible. Those third type is called as special inflorescence, we are telling. Cymose, racemose and special inflorescence also could be found. Special inflorescence means they neither follow the cymose nor follow the racemose condition. Neither they will be having limited growth, but they will have acropetal succession. Or they will have unlimited growth, but they will have basipetal, something like that. A mixed condition will be there. Such a condition is called a special inflorescence. In plants like tulsi, a tulsi plant is exhibiting special type of inflorescence. Special type of inflorescence even can be found in plants like sunflower also. Head inflorescence it is called sunflower, like that. Even fig fruit, that anjur, we are telling, that fruit is made up of inflorescence. Inside you will get minute florets, flowers like that. They all come under special inflorescence. So what is inflorescence? A 3-mark question can be asked about an inflorescence. Inflorescence refers to natural cluster of flowers, and cluster refers to what? Group. There are 3 categories, or major 2 categories. One is racemose, another one is cymose. Difference between racemose and cymose I told you. In racemose inflorescence, unlimited growth of peduncle. In acropetal succession, flowers are arranged. Example, gulmohar. In cymose inflorescence, limited growth of peduncle, basipetal succession of arrangement. Example, jasmine. Third category is called special inflorescence. Special inflorescence can have both the characters mixed in them. There will be something special type actually. Example, sunflower, tulsi, we can say. So remember this point. One new word I introduced here is peduncle. What is peduncle? Stalk of an inflorescence. In the previous classes, I told you about petiole. Petiole, what is that? Stalk of a leaf is called petiole. Stalk of an inflorescence is called peduncle. What is stalk? This is the part. It is the branch arising from the main stem. It will bear cluster of flowers actually. It will contain cluster of flowers. Those cluster of flowers are called inflorescence. Please make note of this. After half a minute, I will continue about another morphological feature. Just make note. Students, you might have understood about inflorescence. Let us go for another aspect of morphology in flowering plants. So we have seen root, stem, leaf and inflorescence. Let me come to the fifth part in the morphology of an angiosperm. It is known as flower. So about the flower we are going to study here. Different characters of the flower, different parts of the flower, terminologies to explain the flower, describing a flower, everything we are going to study. How to define a flower means. What is a flower? One more question can be asked. A flower can be defined as reproductive shoot of an angiosperm, it can be called. It is a reproductive part of an angiosperm. Reproductive shoot of an angiosperm is called as a flower of angiosperms. Remember this point. What is meant by reproductive shoot means? You know, for performing different functions, different parts are there. Root means main function is fixation and absorption. Stem means ascending part conducting the water and minerals. Leaves means photosynthesis. Inflorescence means cluster of flowers, group of flowers for helping pollination. It will happen. We will study about pollination and all later. Now I am telling a point. Reproductive shoot of an angiosperm is called a flower. So angiosperms are the plants. They are able to produce their own offspring. They are able to produce their own small plants, otherwise children we can say. That ability to produce their own progeny or offspring is called reproduction. How animals are capable of producing their own offspring, plants can also produce their own offspring with the help of seeds. We have seed. Seed andre bija anta antivalla. From that seed, new plants could be produced. Where from that seed is produced means that is produced from the flower only. So what is the purpose of producing flower? It is for reproduction, especially sexual reproduction we are telling. In 10th standard you might have heard about asexual and sexual reproduction. Sexual reproductive part of a plant angiosperm is what? The flower we are telling. So flower is the reproductive part. It is the most fascinating part of the angiosperm. It occurs in different colors, it occurs in different shapes and more beautiful, wonderful, shapes and all, structure also. Such a structure, flower, it is very much useful for the angiosperm, for the sake of reproduction, sexual reproduction. Now remember, if you take any typical flower, a flower if you take means it has got 4 major parts in it. There is a stalk of the flower present here. It is known as pedicel. We are I am introducing a new word called pedicel. Already we have seen petiole, peduncle. Petiole is what? Stalk of the leaf. Peduncle is what? Stalk of an inflorescence. Whereas pedicel is the stalk of a flower. From the pedicel, at the tip of the pedicel, we come across 4 parts arranged into a flower. There are 4 parts present in the flower actually. Those 4 parts can be drawn like this. Imagine this point. Imagine a hibiscus flower which we have commonly seen here. It has got 4 major parts in it. How these 4 parts are produced? They are all formed from the meristem, especially axillary meristem we can say. Otherwise this meristem will become a reproductive meristem and it will become a flower-like structure. How leaf is produced, so flower is also produced from the growing tips. Meristematic tissue or bud means growing tissue, growing bud. So either apical bud may become a flower or a axillary bud may become a flower in the case of angiosperm. Now this bud will develop into pedicel which will have 4 parts arranged into a structure. These 4 parts are called as floral whorls we are telling. They are called as floral whorls. That means parts of a flower will be called as floral whorls. How many floral whorls are there? 4 number of floral whorls are there. What are they means? The first and important part of a flower is called calyx, we can see. Calyx. This green color, leave about pedicel. Because pedicel may be present or may be absent also. We will see about it later. This part, green colored part of a flower generally is called calyx. In hibiscus it is green in color. That is called calyx, we can see. Above the calyx, there is another part of the flower also that is known as corolla. We are telling. Remember these words, corolla, it can be called. Calyx is the outermost whorl or the basical whorl, it can be called. Above that, corolla is present. Corolla is the brightly colored portion of a flower, we can say. Brightly colored. In hibiscus, it is red in color. In rose, it may be pink in color. In jasmine, it will be white in color. So, different flowers have different colors. Why? Because of the nature of the corolla there. That corolla has got pigments in it which will give color, characteristic color for that particular flower. Okay, let us come to calyx and corolla. Third part of the flower will be known as androecium. You have to remember here. Androecium, it can be called. A-N-D-R-O. Ecium, E-C-I-O-U-M, E-C-I-U-M, it is called androecium. This part in hibiscus, this is known as androecium, remember. Fourthly, there is a part of the flower called gynoecium also. Gynoecium, it can be called. In hibiscus, this gynoecium could be observed as a black color structure here. Of course, it has got some hidden parts also here, and here some parts are present. We will describe it later. So, main point is flower has got whorls, 4 whorls in it. namely calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Now listen, this calyx if you take means, if you observe the calyx, it is made up of its own units here. The calyx is not a simple one single structure. It has got its own parts, its own units in it. As we tell, nephron is the unit of kidney, neuron is the unit of brain, something like nervous system like that. Here, calyx has got its own unit. Those units of the calyx, they are called as sepals, we are telling. What are sepals? They are the units of calyx, we can say. Sepals. S-E-P-A-L-S. What is corolla made up of? Corolla has got its own unit, independent unit. You could have observed. In a rose flower and all, we could remove that corolla unit. Even sometimes we are eating it also. Those units of corolla will be known as petals. We tell here, petals. Sepals are the unit of calyx. Petals are the unit of corolla. Remember this point. So there may be many number of petals arranged into a circle. That circle is called whorl, we are telling. Next to that, androecium. Please listen. Androecium is made up of stamens in them. Remember, stamen. Androecium is made up of stamen. That structure of stamen, function of stamen and all we will see later. Just I want to introduce the terminology here. So stamens are the unit of androecium. What about gynoecium means? Gynoecium is made up of its own unit called carpels, we can say here. Carpels, I'm sorry, P-E-L-S, we have to write. Carpels are present in the, what is that, gynoecium actually. So remember students, calyx unit is sepals. That means many sepals join together, they become the calyx. Many petals join together, they become the corolla. Stamens, group of stamens will form androecium. Group of carpels will form gynoecium. Remember this point. What is the importance of sepal, petal and androecium, gynoecium means? Please listen. These sepals and petals are not directly involved in reproduction. Even though flower is the reproductive shoot, all the four floral parts are not used, not utilized directly for reproduction. That means they are helping organs. They do not directly involve in reproduction, but they help for reproduction. Since they help for reproduction, they are called as accessory whorls of a flower, we are telling. Which are the accessory whorls of a flower? Calyx and corolla. Calyx is made up of sepals. Corolla is made up of petals. Okay. Whereas functional whorls or the main whorls of the flower will be known as androecium and gynoecium. Reproduction is directly depending upon androecium and gynoecium in these flowers. They are called main whorls of a flower, we can say. Main whorls are androecium and gynoecium. Accessory whorls are calyx and corolla, remember. Calyx is made up of sepal, corolla is made up of petal. Androecium is made up of stamens, M-E-N you have to write. Corolla is, gynoecium is made up of carpel, P-E-L-S you have to write. Carpels are the unit of gynoecium, stamens are the unit of androecium. Sir, what is the difference between androecium and gynoecium? The androecium or the stamens are the male reproductive part of a flower, we can say. It represents the male reproductive part. In animals, we call that as testis. As testis is producing sperms for reproduction, the stamens or androecium will also produce antherozoid for reproduction. You might have heard in lower classes, anthrozoids are the male reproductive cells. They are produced from androecium mainly, or otherwise stamen we can say. Carpel or gynoecium is considered to be female reproductive part of a flower. Remember, this symbol indicates female. Female reproductive part of a flower is gynoecium. Male reproductive part of a flower is androecium. Remember, they are directly involved in sexual reproduction, whereas calyx and corolla are accessory whorls of a flower. Do you get this basic point? What is a flower? It is a reproductive shoot of angiosperm. Now I will introduce one more terminology in this case. Please listen. Pedicel is the stalk of the flower. At the tip of the pedicel only, floral whorls are arranged actually. So what is the name of that tip of pedicel? This tip is there, no? There only floral whorls, calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium, they are arranged in circles. That's why they are called whorl. These circles are arranged over the tip of the pedicel. That tip of the pedicel is called thalamus. Remember this point. It is called thalamus, we can say, or otherwise it can be called as a torus also. So what is the torus or thalamus? Torus or thalamus refers to the tip of the pedicel. Remember, what is the pedicel? Stalk of a flower. Over that stalk, how many whorls are arranged? 4 whorls are arranged. Calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. Calyx and corolla are accessory whorls. Androecium and gynoecium are what are the sexual whorls, main whorls we can say. Let us continue about the description of flower. Just to make note of this point, I will continue now further. Reproductive shoot. Okay, students, let me continue with some more terminologies related with a flower. Angiosperm refers to flowering plants. In those flowering plants, flowers are produced for the purpose of reproduction. That flower can be of different types actually, since they are varying in different plants. A flower can be described with different terminology. Since there are many variations among flower, we must know some terminology related to the flower. They are called as description of a flower. We are description. Vivarane antantivalla, that description, how to describe a flower, there are some point we have to remember. Scientific description, okay, it is scientifically describing a flower we are going to see here. Listen to me. A flower is said to be pedicellate flower if it has got pedicel in it. What is pedicel? Stalk of the flower. So in some plants, flowers will have pedicel, or in majority of the plants, flowers will have pedicel. They are called pedicellate flower. What is pedicellate flower? The flower has pedicel. Okay, it has got pedicel. That is called a pedicellate flower. Okay. Example for this. Best example we can remember is hibiscus. Remember this word. In hibiscus, we see the pedicel. Just now I drew the pedicel here. Second terminology to describe a flower is, there are flowers which do not have pedicel. They will be directly attached to the stem of the plant like this. Directly the flower is attached. They do not produce. They do not have well-defined pedicel. So that is called as sessile flower. We are telling. It is known as a sessile flower. Sessile flower means no pedicel is found here. Pedicel is absent. That is called a sessile flower. Directly the flower is attached to the stem actually. Example for this is a plant called Achyranthes. You can remember. They are having a sessile flower actually. Okay. A flower can be said to be complete flower, we can say here. A flower is called a complete flower when it has got all the four floral whorls. All floral whorls are present means then it will be called as what is that? A complete flower. All floral whorls means what? Calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. All are present there means, okay, that is called as a complete flower, we can say. What is an incomplete flower? You must know also. From the name itself, you can